Hey everyone, and welcome back to Learn Hindi. Today, we're jumping into lesson 15. We're going to unlock a really core part of the language, how to talk about what he or she is doing. It's actually simpler than you think, and we're going to break it all down step by step.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll set our goal for today. Then we'll dive into the key pronouns and the one single grammar rule you really need to know. After that, we'll walk through some examples, and then it's your turn to practice. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with a quick summary to make sure it all sticks. So let's get into it. All right, so our main goal today is to build some of the most common, most useful sentences you'll ever need. We're talking stuff like he works or she lives. By the end of this short explainer, you're going to be able to form these simple but absolutely essential phrases with total confidence.
So let me ask you, right now, how would you say he goes or she lives in Hindi? If you're drawing a blank, that's actually perfect, because in just the next few minutes, we're going to build that knowledge from the ground up together.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about the pronouns for he and she. Now, here's where Hindi does something kind of interesting. The word you choose actually depends on how close that person is to you. It's really straightforward. For someone who's near you, whether it's a he or a she, you use ya. For someone who's farther away, you use va. See? The gender doesn't matter for the pronoun, only the distance. Let's look at a real example to make this super clear. On the left, imagine David is standing right next to you. So we'd say, yah David hai, which means this is David. But now look at the right. He's way over there. So now it becomes va David hai, or that is David. The only thing that changed was how far away he was. Simple, right? Okay, so we've got our pronouns ya and va nailed down. Now we just need to add a verb. And this brings us to the most important part of today's lesson, matching the verb to the gender of the person you're talking about. The process is basically a two-step recipe. First, you start with the verb's root. Think of it as the most basic core ingredient of the verb, like ja is the root for to go. Then, second, you just attach a special ending. And that ending changes based on whether you're talking about a man or woman. And here they are. These are the two endings we need for today. This is super important. For a masculine subject, the verb ending is ta hai. And for a feminine subject, it's ti hai. So ta hai for guys, ti hai for girls. This is the central rule we're going to be using.
Okay, time for the fun part. Let's put everything we've learned together. We're going to combine those pronouns with these new verb endings and build some real sentences. Listen closely to how they sound.
Let's start with Rahul. To say he goes, we take the root for go, which is ja, and since Rahul is a guy, we add the masculine ending. That gives us wa jata hai. You hear that ta hai at the end? Go on, try saying it out loud. Wa jata hai. Nice. Now let's do the exact same thing, but for Seema. To say she goes, we use that same verb root ja, but this time, what do we add? The feminine ending. So it becomes va jati hai. Notice that little shift to ti hai? Let's say that one together. Va jati hai. Perfect. Okay, let's try a brand new verb, to live. The root is rehe. So to say David lives, we take rehe and add the masculine ending, ta hai. And we get David rehta hai. And for our last example, let's take Anna and the verb to work, which is काम करना. Since Anna is our feminine subject, we're going to use the ti hai ending. Anna काम करती है. You know what? I think you're really getting the hang of this, so let's put you to the test. All right, you've seen the pattern, now it's time for you to try it yourself. I'm going to give you a phrase in English, and I want you to say the Hindi translation right out loud. Ready? Okay, first one. How would you say Rahul works? Just remember, the verb for work is काम करना, and Rahul is masculine. I'll give you a few seconds. So, did you get it? The correct answer is Rahul काम करता है. We use करता है because Rahul is masculine. Fantastic job if you got that right. All right, here's the next one. Think about the verb for live, रहना. How would you say Seema lives? And remember, Seema is a feminine name. Take a moment, say the sentence. And the answer is Seema rehti hai. We use that feminine ti hai ending because we're talking about Seema. You're doing so great. This is exactly how you build the language muscle. That was some excellent practice. Let's do a super quick review just to lock in everything we learned today. Here are the essentials, your cheat sheet. For he or she, when they're near, use ya. When they're far, use va. And for the verbs, remember, the masculine ending is ta hai and the feminine ending is ti hai. That's the whole lesson in a nutshell.
And here it is, that core pattern one last time, using our verb to work. For a guy, vah kaam karta hai. For a girl, vah kaam karti hai. This right here is the main takeaway. If you can just remember this simple pattern, you have absolutely mastered today's lesson.
And let's just end on this thought. Every small grammar rule, every pattern just like this one, is a building block. What you learned today isn't just a rule in a textbook, it's a key that literally unlocks thousands of new sentences you can now create all on your own. So keep practicing and just keep building. And that wraps up our look at present tense verbs in Hindi. If you found this lesson helpful, please be sure to follow this series for more. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you in the next lesson.